caseworkers and visits and a million people involved in your life and like coming down on you all the time, and then you turn 18 and it's like, peace out, I am done, I don't want to. Hey Village, today we're going to talk about a new topic, and it's one that is very important. And it's new because up until this last year, I had not had experience in this area. And so like a lot of things, I speak on my lived experience and what I've gone through. And, you know, I incorporate also things of what I hear from other foster caregivers and former foster youth themselves who are still experiencing foster care. And I advocate across the state of Ohio on the topic of child welfare, but I try not to speak about things unless I can provide, you know, my lived experience. So for this video, I'm going to be focused on the topic of when foster youth are aging out of the system. Not to say that it's always a negative experience, but I do want to talk about some of the things that I have noticed and things that I've heard that are not that great. If you're new here, my name is Whitney and I'm a foster caregiver. I have been fostering for the last 6 years. There have been 8 kids in that time frame that have come and gone from the home, and many of them have had different either reunification, aging out, moving in with kinship, many different reasons why they leave this home. And for me, I'm a foster caregiver because I am that temporary space. While I'm open to adoption, it is not my primary goal when I say yes to a foster placement. So experiencing different ways in which kids are leaving the home has kind of shaped my experience, and having a teen who ages out of the system is a new one for me. And I just want to be clear that what I speak on in this video is going to be a culmination of my experiences, not the foster youth specifically. And with that comes, you know, maintaining the confidentiality of that child and their experiences. I'm going to talk about what I kind of observe and witness in the conversations that I have had, as well as some conversations, like weaving in conversations that I've had with my nonprofit. I volunteer with the Ohio Family Care Association, and they are the voice of families for the state of Ohio. So I think for the most part, that's my disclaimer. I guess I also want to highlight that this is just my opinion and my experience. I am not an expert, other than the fact that, you know, I have lived experience and I'm speaking from that. But really, this is a place to get the conversation started. So I would like to invite all of you to share what you are hearing, what you've experienced, in a respectful and positive way, so we can talk about negative experiences, but if we can shape that in a way that is going to further the conversation towards solution, that's what I really like to see this community doing. But what I noticed, sometimes in a subtle way and sometimes in a more obvious way, this feeling that the youth who is transitioning out of care, because that's the term that's used now, transitioning out of care, aging out of the system, there's this sense of pushing the child from one system to another, and the system, or the structure that is holding that child is very quick to wanting to move them on. I'll give you an example of this. So there is a thing called extended foster care. That is true. A child can be still considered a foster child and be in a foster home, and that foster home can still be receiving supports, and there isn't going to be any changes or very minimal changes when the child turns 18. And that can be offered up until age 21. So this is great for foster youth who might have been involved in multi-systems, whether that's juvenile justice or mental health, even just higher needs care. Some of those cases, children at 18 are not ready to be on their own. And yes, sometimes youth, when they turn 18, they do have a great support system and they can go back to family or extended family and move on. And they can also stay with the foster family if the foster family is open to that. The downside of that is that the foster family is no longer getting support. But what I noticed was this sense of, okay, the teen is about to turn 18. Let's get them off of the county, off of the state. There's this other program that they can qualify for. And to qualify means there's a bunch of steps. to go through to get them to qualify. They have to want to qualify. They have to be motivated. They have to have the support system, whether it's a foster caregiver or whether it's family, kinship. That youth still needs to have a supportive base. And what I experienced this time around is a youth is going to turn 18 and then all of a sudden there's stuff in the mail saying almost immediately, you have 30 days to switch your coverage. And, again, an 18-year-old who's been involved in child welfare for who knows how long. I mean, it's going to vary, obviously. Sometimes youth are entering care as they're turning 18, and maybe they have a very short amount of time that they're experiencing foster care. So the impact isn't that great because they still have that solid foundation. But other times, if a youth is aging out, and they've been in the system for a long time, they're ready to get out. They don't want to have to qualify for another program. They don't want to have to check all the boxes and, jump through a million hoops just to get support. I would understand being a teenager and having caseworkers and visits and a million people involved in your life and coming down on you all the time. And then you turn 18 and it's like, peace out. I am done. I don't want any more support. I want to go live my life. I want to go hang out with friends. I want my freedom. That's a natural reaction. But to try to consolidate, because I can get off on so many tangents on this topic, what I see is that the system is no one wants to pay for supporting a former foster youth. They want to move. They want to move on. It's not always what's in the best interest of this child. How are we setting them up for the future? It's like, hey, yeah, you're about to be 18. Cool. Here's your next thing. Have fun. It's been great. And these are great people. Don't get me wrong. These are people who care about their job. They care about the impact that they're making. It's a combination of just the way the system is set up and the lack of time that caseworkers and professionals have to really give that one-on-one care. And I know in this situation, and many of you have probably experienced this as well, when you have caseworkers who are coming and going, that impacts a lot, especially when you're coming really close to the child's 18th birthday. If you have a lot of switches, there may not be as personalized of a plan. I've witnessed where a child is not getting the proper setup where, conversations should be happening a couple years, even 6 months, to talk about what's going to happen when the child ages out. That didn't happen. As a foster caregiver, there's only so much that I can do. Yeah, it can just be a little disappointing, I guess. And then it's gonna depend on how long the youth is in your care leading up to them aging out. So if they're with you for a few years and they're on their way to age out, you have a lot of time to have more of an impact on their independence as they become an adult, according to, you're 18, you're an adult, even though I think many of us can agree that does not make you an adult. There's a lot of things that go along with it. And at 18, a lot of kids are not ready for the world and adulting, basically. But if they've been with you for a while, you have more of an influence on, basic things like budgets, cooking, driving, laundry, hygiene, scheduling medical appointments and dentist appointments. And, we're not talking huge things like, going to college even. We're not even talking about that level. It's, how do you interview for a job at Taco Bell? We're talking basic things for some of these kids. And the shorter that window of time that they're in your care before they age out, the shorter amount of time you have to really make an impact. And I'm gonna put a link here. There's a really impactful video where this speaker is talking about, it's like rocks and pebbles, I think, and it's showing the visualization of, kids before they turn 18 and how their chances of having one stable mentor adult that they can, look to and lean on. It gets smaller and smaller as they, reach that point of aging out. And for a lot of kids, they end up not having it. And I have to be honest, This is why I love being a foster caregiver to teens, because I mean, there's so many benefits. That's a whole nother video. I think I've already done one. But when it comes to caring for teens, like, yes, you are supporting them with all the things that are involved in the trauma and the situation with their family, whatever that is. But also you're being that mentor and trying to set them up and be that example of, okay, hey, when you're an adult, I'm here, call me with questions. Like, this still happens, to me. I'll get a text message saying, hey, like, I don't know how to do this, or this is happening, I need help. And so you can be that lifelong support. Like, if you're able to build trust and build that safety with that child while they're with you, that can last a lifetime. And I've got to say, so as much as the village, like, you guys, you know me, you know who I am, kind of like how I run the house and what I offer. And I'm sure many of you would be thinking, why would a foster youth want to age out and leave? Like, they would have it so good there. Like, they have a comfortable room, they have food, they have, I would say arguably a lot more freedom than some other foster caregivers. And, when a child ages out, I do want to be able to open it up for them to remain here. Even if I get no support from the state, which again, that's one of these downsides. It's like, if you're saying yes to a foster teen who is, 16 plus, and reunification is not the goal, and them transitioning out of care is ultimately what's going to be the outcome. The reality is, at 18, if you're a foster caregiver and you're just going to say, okay, you're 18, go out, here's the program that you need to qualify for, see you later. Why are you doing this? but it's true. Like, I mean, me saying, yes, hey, you can stay, let's figure this out. It does create a financial hardship, because I am paying for more electricity, water, food, until that child is going to get a job and start to contribute or qualify for whatever program there is. And that's if they want to qualify for the program. And so it puts you in a position where it's tough. It almost feels like an ultimatum, like, hey, you can stay here, but we need to make sure that you're qualifying for this program, because it's going to support you being able to be here and support you for setting yourself up to, have your own apartment, and getting the support from the program. And I'm trying to be vague because every state is going to have a different program. In Ohio, it's called Bridges, and great program. And I work with my nonprofit to talk to this program and try to support in how to improve it. Ultimately, the teen is finding out about this program right before they age out, and to them, they're looking for freedom. A lot of times they're done with people managing them and checking in with people, even if there is free money on the table. Like, I literally tell my foster teens, like, when you turn 18, if you age out, they are gonna give you all this money, and all you have to do is create a budget and work or go to school. That's it. But a child who has gone through this, they're not listening with the same mindset that we are. And so as foster caregivers, you really have to like pause, and instead of like lecturing and going on, you really have to get down to the basics, so that they can really understand what's in it for me. It doesn't matter all the logistics, like, you're gonna end up overwhelming them. And this is feedback that I've given to Bridges specifically. I'm rambling again, but all of these like topics, these subtopics when it comes to youth transitioning out of care, they kind of are interwoven, so I'm kind of jumping all around. For now, I think that's really all I wanna say about this topic, just to get the conversation started. I would love to hear from you guys in the comments. At this time, I'm not gonna say anything more specific about the experience that I have had. Overall, like, it's disheartening. It is disheartening, and it's one of those experiences where I knew that for me, it was time to pause. And, obviously there's a lot of things, going on in life as well. So just taking a pause and really recalibrating, because of the heaviness of having a teen who ages out and what that can look like and everything that goes along with it. I'm just kind of in this time of like, okay, create stability, create a new normal for myself and the family, and then just kind of recalibrate once I feel not the heaviness, like the heaviness, gets to work through me. So yeah, let me know in the comments what your experiences have been. And again, as a reminder, it doesn't have to be all positive things, but if it is something where you have a negative experience, frame it in a way that can forward the conversation towards solutions and just be respectful of everyone and their experiences. The next video, I am gonna share an overall update of where I'm at with the fostering journey and kind of let you guys know what's next. So be sure to stay tuned for that. As always, be sure you like, comment, subscribe if you haven't, make sure your notifications are on. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.